right, y'all. Welcome back. Surprise, surprise. Happy Monday, all that good stuff. I've been going through the film from Tennessee versus Mississippi State, some other teams that we played, and I was just like, man, this team is really freaking good. I know that there's several people that are down on our Vols. It's always just people who are going to be negative, just for, I guess, being negative sake. But, dog, when I tell y'all I'm looking around and I'm seeing several first, maybe 1 to 2 day draft picks, whether it's for this upcoming draft this year or for some future draft picks or for some future drafts, man, we are loaded. We have a whole lot of depth. We're building it, okay? Obviously, if you're going to be hard on Coach Banks, you got to think about who all's missing from this team, who all has been missing, who's been playing. It's freshmen. It's people that preseason, we weren't thinking that these guys were going to be playing. These guys are out there playing. They're getting better and better every single week. And oh, by the way, we got, people coming back that are real dudes for that defense. We're going to get that figured out, okay? We're going to talk about, of course, David Sanders. I know that there's several people who want to know, hey, how did he look out there? Well, I'm going to show you how he looks on film. I have my thoughts on it. Y'all can have y'all's thoughts, but at least it's going to come from a place of actually knowing what the heck is going on and not just kind of like making things up. If he comes in, if he plugs in at that right tackle, are we going to be better off with him outside of Jesse Perry, like Jesse Perry bumping inside to right guard? Jesse Perry is one of the guys that I was just talking about. He looks like he's a future first-round draft pick. He's a real dude. I just think that people are really sleeping on this team. Like, people should be, more afraid of this team. Halloween's coming up. That's why we led with the, spooky, song and all that. Y'all, this team is doing some really good things. And then also just watching, like, the All-22 whenever you can see what we're trying to do. Some of it, I would say most of it, especially with the defense, is kind of like a lack of execution. But, man, we are growing in so many different areas. I feel very confident coming out of this bye week just because some of the things that we weren't doing right, this is the time to get that corrected. You know what I'm saying? So with all that being said, y'all, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. There's a lot of things that we'll be talking about today. And I'm going to be very heavy in the chat. I'm going to try to spend as much time with y'all as I possibly can. But what I want to do, okay, so let's actually start off right here with some of the things that I'm looking at for us, in this bye week. And also, we have to talk about Arkansas firing Coach Pittman. And now Bobby P, he's taken back over there. They just fired their DC. What his name is, I think it's Travis Williams or something. He's a big-time players coach. The players love him. I think that was a bad move by Bobby P. And also, if you look at Coach Heupel's system, I mean, it's totally changed this year, right? We talked about that the whole offseason. A big part of the reason for that is because of what Coach T. Will did. He, figured out how to stop this offense. I think he had the best game plan that Coach Heupel seen, period, point blank. How's it going to look now moving forward? Who is the new DC going to be? I don't know how much we'll talk about that today. But I do want to show y'all just some of the things I think Tennessee needs to be working on, over this little break for this week, heading into the Arkansas game. Then we got Bama after that. I mean, we're getting into the meat of the schedule, and I love how we're sitting. And then, obviously on the right side, y'all can see the things that I feel like is going to be positive for us coming out of this break. So, number one, okay, starting off on that left side, we need to do a better job tackling. We missed a lot of tackles. We know that Mississippi State ran the football a lot versus Tennessee. I think it was like 57 times. Or it was something crazy. And they only, well, I'm saying only, which is it's not great, but they averaged 4.6 yards per carry. But so did Tennessee. We just didn't run the football as much as they did. If we did, if we ran 57 times, we'd have the exact same amount of yards. And they had what? I want to say six big running plays of 10+ yards, which one of them really was on the fake punt. So really only 5. It's a pretty easy fix, okay, and we'll talk about that some. But the second thing, and this is part of the fix, is just to set the edge. On most of their big runs, it was because we weren't setting a proper edge. Got to do better there. That's a very easy fix. I mean, just say, hey, y'all, defensive ends, y'all set the freaking edge. Or if it's a linebacker that's taking over that, set the edge. Linebacker, safety, star player, whoever, we got to set the edge, force it back to the middle. But then at number 3, I will say this is something I'm not quite sure how much better will it get. But our defensive tackles, man, versus double teams, they were getting moved. I mean, they were getting moved. We talked about this all offseason. We were concerned about it because we don't have those big space heaters. We don't got a big, we don't have big E. The guys that are like 340 plus. We don't have that on this team. Oh, we got some guys that maybe we could throw over there. Jeremiah's hurt. He's not that big, but to me, I mean, he might be one of the guys maybe you think about doing it. The staff would never do it. I also think that like Nick Moore, he looked good playing defensive tackle coming out of high school. Maybe you could do that. Again, the staff won't do it, but we do have Devin Hobbs probably coming back. We'll talk about that here in just a second, but that could help us out just to keep us fresh. But that was the main, like, number two, number three with our run stopping defense. That was the biggest thing. Well, really, the first three, because we missed several tackles whenever we were in a good spot to be able to, close and finish and things like that. So it was one of those three things that was an issue for our run defense. And we will, for the members on this channel, that's where we're going to be starting off at, okay? We're going to be starting off with Tennessee's run defense. I'm going to show you how that looks. If y'all want to be part of that, y'all can join us on Patreon, patreon.com/Bluechip Breakdown. We do have this the free tier where there's plenty of content there, but then we also have a $1 tier. Just $1. Y'all are going to get access to stuff that nobody else is bringing up. Listen, y'all, and not to like toot our own horns or nothing like that, but on this channel, there is not another channel anywhere. You can't get this type of information for Tennessee anywhere. Nobody knows what we know. Nobody's going to break it down how we're breaking it down. It's people who are breaking it down, and they don't even understand like what the scheme is, so on and so forth. Y'all help us out. We put a ton of work into this. It's just $1. If you want to join on the $5 tier, you're gonna get inside information that nobody else is gonna share with you. We're just shooting you straight. But then also you can join us on YouTube by clicking on the join button just below this video. All right, so let's move on. Number 4 for me, we do have to find a way to get like our running game going just a little bit better. I think that it looks pretty solid, but it can definitely take several steps forward. One of the things that we talked about heading into the game on Saturday was we got to get our wide receivers blocking the safeties or maybe linebackers more. Saw that. This staff gets it, okay? Like, they totally get it, and they will implement the necessary changes for us to get better over the course of the year. I think that the running backs could maybe do a little bit of a better job of, number one, catching the damn football, and then also making people miss on that second and third level. But pre-snap movement, maybe like some jet sweeps, just different things, right? I would also love to see Tennessee implement more stretch plays. Right now, we're running more like outside zone. But to me, if you're going to run outside zone, you need to run the stretch with it, because a stretch play is very similar to like outside zone, but like in a stretch, the running back's not really trying to go outside. They're stretching things to the outside, and then they're looking for that cutback. I think that we have running backs that it fits their style of play very well. I'm surprised that we haven't seen more of that over the course of this year. But let's go on to the last one here, just as far as kind of like negative things or things that we need to be working on, and that's empty sets. I thought that we'd see more of that last weekend. We need to start doing it. I feel like it fits Joey Aguilar's skill set. I feel like it fits our playmakers, period. I mean, you could have a running back out there, flex them out. They're not catching the football very well, but they're mismatched nightmares because they can run. They should be able to catch better than what they're doing. But obviously, wide receivers, tight ends, like, we got guys that we could utilize. Spread the damn field out, okay? Like, let's go empty. Very easy to tell what the defense is in. You don't have to spread the field like super wide like we, were doing a lot of last year. It could still be tight sets, but you're going empty, right? And even if it's wide, you have people who are close, so it's like you get the best of both worlds. We gotta do more of that. That's something that I have no idea why we haven't done it. I don't know how many times we've done it this year, if we've done it, period, but we gotta do a better job of that. All right, so as far as all the positive things, number one, man, David Sanders, we're about to take a look at him here in just a second, but he definitely, him coming back could be a very positive thing for this team. And then we also have David Hobbs coming back at defensive tackle. That's positive just because Jackson Moy came back last week. He had like 44 snaps, and I think one of the insiders was like, can he get 15 to 20? He got double that. So just having somebody else that can share that time while we've already built the depth with some younger players, that's going to be very, very positive. I also think that with Tennessee's defensive tackles, yes, they're smaller, but they're quicker than they were last year. So the stunt game, I saw some glimpses and some flashes where, dude, we're like this close to doing something really positive. But now that we have Devin Hobbs coming back, I don't know how many snaps he's going to get, versus Arkansas, but I like the way that looks. So the pass rush gets even better. And, oh, by the way, we're leading the SEC in sacks. Okay, the pressure rate's not what it was last year, but we're closing like we talked about in the offseason. Can we close better? We should have had like a ton of sacks last year. We just couldn't close. This team is actually closing. I absolutely love it. So doing a great job from that standpoint. All right, number 3, in Tennessee's pass coverage, versus Mississippi State, it was really, really good. We talked about cover 2. More teams should try to run cover 2 because most teams are, I'm also say this, almost everybody runs a 3-3-5, so like that's not, people will say, oh, well, it's the 3-3-5 that's giving Tennessee trouble. That's not it, okay? Like that is not it. Everyone runs that, so that's not what the problem is. But most teams are running quarters coverage and cover 3. Cover 2 is not being run as much. Tennessee loves to run that Tampa 2. It doesn't really matter what you run. If it fits your personnel, then it can work. Especially like I think with cover 2, which we will also take a look at that. if with a really good pass rush, it works beautifully. Okay, so I think that Tennessee's found our like zone coverage to go with our man because we still have cornerbacks. Like I think all of our players can still do man very well, but you can't just run man on every single play. And you will every single coverage on defense. You're giving something up. Okay, like you have to give something up. There's nothing that outside of really cover zero, which you would have to have an outstanding pass rush. Everybody has to be able to play man-to-man coverage. Linebackers, everybody, you know what I'm saying, has to be really, really tight. It's tough to just run straight up man all the time and blitz and so on and so forth. But now we can mix things up. And I think that cover two, that's our zone. That looked really good versus Mississippi State. We ran it a lot more versus them than I think Coach Banks has maybe running since he's been at Tennessee. Very positive sign for me. All right, next thing, Jordan Burns. I think that he could, and listen, this is going to sound crazy, y'all. This is going to sound crazy. But I talked about Tyler Atkinson and what he could do if he came to Tennessee. And, you know, maybe definitely even worse, but, you know, what he could do if he went to Georgia. A linebacker that can move the way that Jordan Burns does. I'm not going to say that he's Tyler Atkinson, but he is very, very close. We don't have a linebacker right now, as far as the veterans, that move anything like Jordan Burns. He is on a totally different level. We'll also take a look at him. And then Jermont McCoy. I mean, he could be coming back. We'll see. I don't know yet, but he could be coming back. So obviously the secondary just gets even deeper. We get even better. We can do a plethora of different things. And that's, you have to be versatile. You have to be very multiple with your defense. A lot of things, not perfect, y'all, but there's a lot of things that we should be excited about with this team. All right, so let me make sure first and foremost that this thing, that everything is still looking good. All right, so we're about to go ahead and jump into this film room. Let me show y'all how David Sanders looks. All right, I'm gonna show you every single snap that he had. So boom, let's go ahead and pull this thing up. All right, and we're gonna talk about him. All right, so that's him. Obviously, he's gonna be highlighted in that gold or yellow, whatever. So there he's pulling, looks perfectly fine doing it. He's a great athlete, just tremendous athlete. Here you can see him. All right, I think this is pass protection, does a good job of kind of closing down on that left side. Make sure that there's no like big gaps. And then obviously he's able to come back to the outside and do some nice things. So here, same thing, just blocking, holding up very, very well, pushing guys back. Love that. And trust me, it's about to get better, okay? It's about to get better. So let's see what he's doing here. On this play, they're showing a little blitz there. All right, so boom, does a good job of setting up to the inside. He's such a good athlete. It's going to be tough for people to beat him with just straight up speed. And we're seeing the strength, right? Like we already saw the strength. Gotta love that. All right, so next play. Let's see what we got. All right, so Wendell Moy, he's helping him out. We got some pressure coming off of the edge. We got to make sure that we figure that out. Okay, so a little bit of a stunt. Great job picking that up. We get a little bit of help with that chip. Things look perfect. We get the football out quickly now with this system. So you don't have to hold up for too long. But doing a great job. Let me also say that, look at this here. I mean, moves a guy. Look at how many guys. He moves him from the right side of the offensive line all the way to the left side. That's a true freshman, dog. I mean, like, that is gorgeous. That's freaking gorgeous. Look at this here. Violence. Now, I will say, he maybe could have peeled off right there and picked up. It looked like they had like a little twist there, a little bit of a loop. Could have picked that up. Not that he's incapable of doing that, but, you know, he could have done it. So here, that was like a screen. You saw that him and also Wendell Moy, they hold on for just a second, and then they get on up the field. All right, so here, boom, look at this. Boom, to the ground, baby, pancakes. True freshman, pancakes. These are veteran guys. This is the SEC guys. And P and I told you, we think that their defensive line looks better than Georgia's does as far as pass rush goes. Right here, of course, the quarterback rolls out to his right, so David Sanders does a good job of not holding there. Okay, he lets this guy go, had him blocked. Doesn't hold. And I think that this might be the last one here. And this is Joey Aguilar's run. Love this. This is a power play. You can see Wendell Moy. He's kind of talking to him. He gets up to the second level. Looks gorgeous doing that. Sets that wall up. Easy 6 points. So pausing it here because we're about to get on to a different player. But I just wanted for y'all to actually see every single one of his snaps. Run blocking, pass blocking. That guy is a dude. He's a real dude. And I do think that he could come in and he could start at right tackle for us. You bump Jesse Perry to the inside of him. The biggest issue that we've had up front is, as I've said 500,000 times, left guard, Sham Umarov, who I think is very good. You know, but you move Wendell Moy over to the left guard, which is where he typically plays at. He's been playing on the right side, which, I mean, he can do it, but that's not his spot. I mean, we're going to move him back to his spot now. Imagine him being as good as he has been this year, but being even better next to Lance Hurd, who's having a freaking phenomenal. I mean, Lance Hurd is a monster. He's a for sure first-round draft pick. I'm going to go on ahead and say it right here, right now, y'all. He's going to be the first offensive tackle taken in this year's draft. He looks that good. All right, but then you move Wendell Moore right next to him, who, if guards went first round, I mean, he's one of the best guards in the country for sure. So that left side, super strong. But then you can also help out Sam Pendleton at center, which was another spot that wasn't super strong, but I think part of that was because Shem Umarad playing at left guard. He's not playing terrible. I want for him to be able to rotate in. I think he only plays out on the left side, but he could come in and he could spell, Wendell Moy, or Wendell Moy could move to the right side, and then he could be spelling Jesse Perry. So love that, right? Like, we get to give our guys more breaks. That's definitely very positive. But from top to bottom, the offensive line, as good as it's been, one of the best in the whole country, it's going to get even better now, y'all. It's going to get even better. We can do a lot of good things. We talked about stretch plays, outside zone, which we haven't looked super great with the outside zone, but with more athletes out there, I think that, where we were missing that, I already told you where those spots was at. That looks even better. So the running game takes a step forward. The pass pro takes a step forward. And Joey Aguilar, who's done a great job with his pocket presence, he don't have to too much worry about it. Hey, bro, just stand back there, pick and choose. Who do you want to get the ball on this play? Because we have wide receivers on the outside who can make plays, who are going to get open. We have a great scheme, so we've got the answers to everything. Now, hey, Joey, this is your show. You do what you want to do. You do what you have to do. It doesn't matter. You just do your thing. I'm feeling great about the offense. I mean, I feel great about our offense. Absolutely phenomenal. So let's talk about Jordan Burns, okay? So that's who we're looking at now. You can see him here playing at backer. The way that he moves is just incredible. Him scraping over, getting downhill very quickly, making that tackle. I think he only had maybe 10 or so snaps. He had 3 tackles. So here he's going to be playing zone. And I think that this is cover 2. We'll see this again from a different angle later on. Now, that wasn't his guy. Sometimes, like we talked about in a zone, there's just holes. Okay, so that was just a hole. But he comes over really quickly. His burst is just insane. Blitzing, he looks really good. Here you can see him, boom, comes over, makes a pretty flush tackle. Now, one of the things that I will also say about him is that, he needs to maybe gain some weight. If he was just like a little bit stronger, I think that he'd be a starter, and he would be one of the best linebackers in the whole freaking country. I like what Arion Carter did last week. All of our linebackers showed some good things. They all kind of missed on some things, right? Which is going to happen. But I love the ceiling of a guy like Jordan Burns. If we could throw him out there more, if we could, and we have the staff to be able to, hey, just dedicate one guy to him and shadow him on every single play. Get him extra reps. We got to get him up to speed, because I would love to see him in some of these like zone concepts, especially cover 2 with the Tampa 2, having him be a guy that can run the way that he can run. I just think that, man, he can do so many positive things for this team. So that's not taking any shots at anyone else. We have other guys that are really good too. I think that both of the Jadens, they have very similar speed and skill set to what Jordan Burns does. But I don't think, especially with Arion Carter's turf toe, he's not moving as well. I think that Jeremiah T-Lander, he's doing some nice things. He's making some nice tackles. I think he actually has gotten maybe like a step or 2 faster versus last year. Ben Bolton, he stepped up for us, done some nice things. But, I wanted to get all that out the way. So now let me try to get to some of these chats, because I know we have a lot of them coming in. So I'm going to try to catch up here, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Tennessee's cover 2. All right, so let's start it off right here with Sam. How do you say that? Skrook. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right or not, but hey, thank you for joining us today, Sam. So saying that Vols are the best. Hey, man, love that type of energy. David Speaks is saying that Heupel's clock management is my only issue. Trust your players. Yeah, so I think that we do have to get that cleaned up. There are some times when it feels like Coach Heupel gets a little bit tight. So I'm right there with you. But that's something else that can get fixed. Like, just find somebody that you trust to coach. Hey, like, I need for you to listen to me. Like, you have to designate a person that you trust to let them kind of help you out in some of those situations. That could be positive. I mean, you can't be too down on it because we've won almost every game. We really should have beat Georgia. I think that there were some things just from like a coaching standpoint that we could have done better to close that game out. But yeah, I definitely feel you on that. All right, so next one, saying that, what's the deal, Bull? Yeah, what's going on, bro? Hey, thank you as always for joining us. All right, yes, sir, you already know. And David saying that we lead the nation in sacks. Yep. Oh, wow, so it's the nation. Wow, so I didn't realize that we was that far up. But yeah, I mean, listen, and we haven't even gotten all of our guys back. Like, we haven't even really got the coverage and stuff set up the way that it's about to. Y'all about to see this. We missed some things within this cover too. If we didn't blow on a couple of situations, I mean, we could probably have more sacks. We're taking away like every coverage, you're taking away something. You have to pick and choose. What do we want to take away here based off of the down and distance? What does the team like to do? So on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, we'll be able to generate even more sacks as we stop busting on some of these coverages. All right, so this one right here. Okay, so saying howdy. All right, so you think that we drop in the polls after our bye week? Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, probably. But guess what? Doesn't really matter because all we got to do is take care of our business. We're going to be exactly where we need to be. I don't get too wrapped up in that, which I totally get it. Yeah, it's frustrating that we haven't moved up at all. I feel like we definitely should have. Like, we went on the road. Mississippi State's going to shock some folks. That's a good football team. That's a good offense. I think their defense is doing some nice things too. They're not as much a slouches as some people think. All right, so this next one. See, yep, we stayed at 15 for sure. All right, Brazil leads the SEC. And he's second in the nation. Okay, yeah, I think is that touchdowns? I think so. He might actually be leading the country in touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. He has 7 of them. But either way, obviously the passing game has come on very, very strong. Brazil, he's one of the guys I was talking about. He's the first round draft pick for sure. He just has to keep on doing what he's doing, but he looks great. All right, yep, okay. So we're gonna try to get to a few more of these. Aguilar first in passing yards and touchdowns in the SEC. Love that. I think he's playing very well. Special teams, I think we got to get special teams cleaned up for sure. Some of that's, hey, man, play the guys who are supposed to be back there. And I know that Boo Carter, people keep, they keep on talking about him muffing a couple of punts. That's going to happen, but he's still the guy. That, like, you don't, if he's the guy, he's the guy. You got to roll with him. No need, like, unless he just keeps on doing it, which I don't see that happening. Like, let him stay back there, let him do what he does, and then let, some of the other players do what they do. We have people who can do different things. Plenty of depth on this team. All right, is back versus Arkansas. So I haven't heard that just yet. I'm gonna check in. It's something that hopefully we'll be able to share with the $5 tier on the on our Patreon. So y'all, I'm telling you, man, join us there and we will let you know. Okay, like we get that type of information. I haven't really tapped in here, but I'm about to go on ahead and tap in and get a whole bunch of information. All right, so this one right here. Yep, definitely got to get our special teams period, man. Like, one of the things that I am concerned with is our kicker, kind of a head case to me. Got to do better, got to be a lot more clutch. I don't even want to have to worry about, hey, man, we got to make this field goal to win the game. Nah, dog, let's go score. Like, let's go be that dominant. We're going to score 6 points. Running the football, passing the football to whoever, whenever, wherever, it doesn't matter. I think that this team is that good. We've taken so many steps forward and people are just overlooking it. Don't just focus on the negatives. I promise you, I watch a ton of film. I know this team very well. I know football, right? Like, definitely not saying that in a bragging way, but I just want for some people might be new watching this. Y'all just don't know. And also, for everyone who's in here with us, if y'all could, man, share this wherever you can share it at. We want to get as many people in here as we possibly can just to kind of like spread this message. But yeah, I'm telling you, Tennessee we got to clean up a couple of things, but we're super close to being a team that is extremely dangerous. There's no team in the SEC right now that even really concerns me. The only one would be Ole Miss. Ole Miss, there's some things that they're doing, obviously very similar. It's the same system as Mississippi State, but they just run it so well. They've got 2 really good quarterbacks. They spread the football around. They do some good things. Coach Kiffin can really dial it up. That's the only team in the SEC that I'm really worried about. I think that we can handle, and I think that we could beat them too. But that one would be probably our biggest challenge. All right, so this one right here is saying that I really like our schedule right now. Yeah, I think that our schedule, I mean, look, we've got we got some tough ones coming up for sure, but like I just said, I feel like Tennessee, we can win every single one of those games. So Timmy G, what's going on, bro? Yeah, for sure, getting healthy, that is a huge deal. Have to do that. I'm going to get to just a couple more, and then we're going to go ahead and go through the pass coverage here. So this one right here saying it would be nice to have McCoy back for Arkansas. I think that, yeah, so if he does come back, I think that he just plays just like a little bit. We'll see what happens over the course of this week. How much is he actually practicing with the team? He has to get some like physical work in for sure. I'm not banking on that, but yeah, that would be great. If he can play this week, then that means that he could definitely play versus Alabama. Or not this week, but obviously, next week versus Arkansas, that he could play versus Alabama. That would be huge. All right, so I'm going to get to one more right here. Yeah, okay, for sure. All right, so now let's go on ahead and let's talk about cover 2. So this is how cover 2 looks. Y'all have had plenty of time to look at it. One of the things that I love about cover 2 is that you can make this looks like, and it's hard to tell because I have all the like play art up here, but this actually looks a lot like cover 3 pre-snap. Looks like cover 3, maybe even cover 1. You can throw off the pre-snap reads of an offense whenever you run cover two, because you can mix and match and do just, I mean, you can run it a lot of different ways. Here we're actually blitzing. I don't know if y'all can tell, but the linebacker down at the bottom, he's going to be blitzing, okay? And then we're going to have a Leo that drops back into coverage. So we'll go ahead and let this thing roll now, all right? Just so that y'all, I mean, y'all understand what cover two is. Just means that you have two deep safeties. There's going to be holes in every single coverage. Right there, we almost got an interception, which you absolutely love to see. So here, we're taking away all the deep stuff. The two players in red, they're not there, okay? They're covered up. We're giving up the underneath stuff, which you would much rather do. Like I said several times, every single defensive coverage is going to give up something. You would much rather, right, give up the underneath stuff. We talked about working on tackling. Come up, make the tackles. And this is the same play that we talked about with Jordan Burns, where, hey, it's just kind of like an empty spot in our zone, right? But, you know, you come over, you make the tackle. I think that's way too many yards. We can tighten that up some. But we did what we wanted to do, which is take away all of the, like, vertical stuff. Here on this bubble screen, you can see we've got three guys who can come over and make this tackle. Now, in any zone, you're looking at the quarterback. So it's a lot easier for you to come up quicker versus these types of screens, open field stuff. And then also cover two. Let me show y'all this real quick. Cornerback right there in the yellow, he's the guy that's supposed to be kind of like setting the edge down low. So he's playing in the flats. It's a lot easier to set a true edge whenever the cornerbacks are more like run first on the outside. It's also easier for them to come up. Like all the stuff that gets to the outside of Tennessee's defense, like we just talked about, you have cornerbacks there that can force it back to the inside. That's their main job in cover two. So it goes for run plays, it goes for these passing plays, whether it's screens, whatever. So I love all of those things because we have some very fast players now. We can play with speed, we can come downhill, and we can make these types of tackles. So minimal gain. Gotta love that. Now, one of the things that I will point to is that playing cover two, the deep post is open. That's why we like to run Tampa 2, which means that this safety right here, and that's Caleb Beasley, he's playing in that deep third, which is more of like a shallow third, but he's supposed to be picking this post up. His eyes aren't right. Okay, this is one of the busts. His eyes aren't right until it's too late. So boom, you can see now he gets his eyes around. It's way too late. These guys can fly. You have to be able to pick that up immediately, and it's a good thing that the wide receiver dropped that pass, or, you know, obviously that was a huge gain. So here, same thing, same concept. The only difference is we don't have a third safety out there that's playing this deep third. It's actually going to be Arion Carter, so we can have our linebackers doing this sometimes. They have to have good speed. Now, AC has good speed for a linebacker, but Jordan Burns' speed is even better, okay? If we can teach him how to do this type of stuff, that will really help us out in a major, major way. So you're going to see, boom, you know, the safety, he's also looking at that deep post instead of doing what he's supposed to do, which is this deep half area where this outside pass is going to. And that's actually Andre Turntime. Very small thing. We can get that figured out, okay? You have a job. Do your damn job first. And that's why that, you know, that was just a bust. But typically, everything would have been covered up there. So now, we have Arion Carter here, same thing that we just talked about, kind of like Tampa 2. He's got to pick this post up. The referee gets right in his way, slows him down. AC moving forward, if the ref gets in your way, run his butt over, blow his butt up, his or her. You know, obviously, you know, you want to try to be careful, but you have to make them get out of the way. The referee can't just stand in your way and pick you off, right? If you knock them down, that's not a penalty. They have to move. So, you know, it looks like he's kind of open there, but to the quarterback side, he sees, well, there's a lot of people back there. Do I really want to try to throw this pass? It takes tremendous arm strength and arm accuracy to be able to hit on passes like this. So whenever you play these types of coverages, most quarterbacks aren't really going to try to throw it down the field. Now, in the NFL, they can hit this all day long. These mostly aren't going to be NFL quarterbacks. So they have to try to go, you know, check down underneath. We have things covered up there. They can't hit that. So let's go on to this next one, and you're going to see Andre Turntime, same thing, Tampa 2. He's playing in that middle area. He's going to pick this post up very, very well. Watch what he does. Turns his body. He's watching it the whole way. They can't throw that down the field. Everything's covered up down the field. And now we have AC who can come up and make a tackle on the guy that's in green underneath. They had to dump it off. But we have to be good with the open field tackling. And also, you know, and it wasn't great here. It wasn't a very good angle. But like we said, turf toe. Jordan Burns, man, put him in that spot. I think he'd be a little bit better. But, you know, as we said, you know, with different types of coverages, like cover 2's one, cover 3's one too. Like we saw the Seahawks doing it for such a long time. If you have a good pass rush, and if the coverage looks good down the field, if you muddy up things where you can't really go downfield, it helps the pass rush out. Tennessee's pass rush has been really good. So I think that we'll be able to get the quarterback to hold on to the ball just a tick longer, and we'll be able to generate even more sacks. more turnovers, so on and so forth. So I feel very confident with the way that the team is trending now. I love the fact that we're running more cover two. That's not all that we'll run, but we look good doing it. We have to get a little bit better. But I think that we have several answers now for what people like to do. It's not just like one set thing. So feeling great about this team. Now let me get to some more of these chats. All right, this one's from David. When he came in for Perry, he was amping himself up. Yeah, man. So 100% sure. You could tell that he's feeling confident, right? Because it's always kind of like that question whenever you do something for the first time. I mean, you've been told that you're good. You've been doing it in practice, but it's nothing like real live game reps to give you real, true confidence. And I think that he gained that in our game versus Mississippi State. So now, yeah, I mean, the offensive line, man, we got 5 guys that you really love. Plus, we got more like backup players that can rotate in, spell us sometimes. Super deep. We're a lot deeper than we've ever been with Coach Heupel, So loving all those things. All right, so this next one. Survive CC's ran over clock management. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you, clock management definitely was not good in that game for sure. And I think that Hurd and Fano are the 2 best offensive linemen in this draft. So I'm not sure who that is, but I'm gonna tell you something. Hurd, he's about as good as I've seen, like ever. I'm not saying he's gonna be like I'm just saying like he's on that level where, dude, he can do everything. There's not very many holes in his game. He moves well. He's super strong. He's got, like pass blocking moves. He's burying people. All that. He's mean. You know what I'm saying? He seems like he's a good dude. I mean, he's exactly what you would want. Everybody's gonna be coming after Lance Hurd for sure. So this one saying that Caleb has to hold it down for Dave Steve. He tries. Oh, okay. All right. So I know what y'all talking about there. Fire our special needs teams, our special teams coach. Now, I don't think that they need to be fired at all. I just think that we have to do a better job. Some of the stuff is not just on the coaches; it's on the execution. Like muffin punts. I mean, that's execution. You know what I'm saying? Missing field goals. That's execution. Players still got to play. I think that we're setting things up the right way, but players, they have to also step up. So this one is saying is there was a breakout receiver. I thought that it would be Matthews. I was wrong about Brazel. Yeah, I mean, in Brazel, I mean, he always had the talent. I think that Mike Matthews has done some good things. Braylon Staley's done some good things. Understand, y'all, it doesn't have to just be one guy. We can have a lot of guys that play very well. I think that Travis Smith has shown some good things. Rah, when's he coming back? He's looked good, making tough catches. Dotson's going to be a problem. I mean, like, we have guys. Tight ends, they could take another step forward too. We've got Brame. I don't know how much Brame has even played. I mean, he's going to be a huge problem, especially going empty. I'm going to keep on talking about empty because it's something that this team needs to do. We need to implement more empty. We need to tackle better, so on and so forth. So this one, from my dog Ruck, make sure that y'all go check his channel out. Straight Up Tennessee does a great job. Okay, you can find him on YouTube. Check him out. So Ruck is saying huge snaps from Burns. Yep, he's a great athlete. Yeah, man. Listen, it's off the chart. No questions. I think that those are excellent points. And Steve is frustrating at times. Not quite sure what Steve. He might be talking to somebody else. So this one, I've been high on Brazel since he came to us. Yeah, Brazel's a guy that I know some people, and this is why, like, you have to look at the talent of a player and understand is some of this stuff more mental for this guy, and don't just give up on him. Something else that I'll throw out there is that Boo Carter, there's a lot of folks that keep on talking about, and we'll cover this later on today on Patreon and on YouTube members, but people keep on talking about, well, Boo Carter's teammates aren't celebrating with him. We're going to watch the film. How many times do the teammates celebrate with anybody? They don't have time for that stuff. Like, we've got another play coming up. That was a good play. Okay, we'll talk about it maybe on the sidelines if we have time for it, unless it's a touchdown or something or like a turnover. It's not going to be a whole lot of celebrating, right? Like, guys they're locked in. So that's a false narrative to me. People need to stop being so hard on Boo. If he's part of the team, he needs to play. Like, let's stop just like going after our players' throats. We're in the middle of a freaking war. Every single week, it's a battle. We're trying to win the war by winning the national championship. It's not helping to just be super negative because a lot of this stuff isn't going to change. So, yeah, I mean, if you have something to say, for sure. But going over the top negative, I don't see how that helps out anything. You might make some players close down. You might make some coaches close down, whatever. It's not helping us, okay? If you're a true Tennessee fan, if you want to win, find some of the positives, yes, some negative things, but let's not just go over the top. That's just me. That's just the way that I look at it. All right, so next one here. David Sanders moves to left tackle next year and Keith Perry right tackle 100%. 100%. I like how some of the young guards look. Sham, he's going to be back at left guard. And I think that maybe Sam Pendleton, If William Satterwhite stays, he's also looked pretty good playing at center. But if Sat does stay, you can move Sam Pendleton to one of the guards, right? And then I mean, we have so much depth. There's so many players that should be back for us next year. But yeah, and then tackle, we got plenty of guys that I think will take several steps forward there too. So for sure, yeah, I love this team too. All right, so this one, okay. The Tennessee will be better as a season for sure. There's no question. When healthy, they can have the best defense in the conference. I mean, listen, I think that there are some things in our defense that I don't necessarily see getting to like a great level. And defensive tackle is one of the spots that we just don't really have the real size. You can't really gain the size or really like gain that much strength, I think, over the course of a year. We just have to hope, like, what's the ceiling whenever guys are fresher, right? Like, what does that look like? I think that it could be a little bit better. And, maybe some of the young guys, maybe they take a big step forward or something. I'm not sure. But as far as I think we'd have one of the better defenses in this conference, I'm not sure that it's ever going to be like the absolute best. It's going to be based off of the scheme because we can really generate pressure. We can have really tight coverage. We can go man. We can go zone, give you some different looks. I think that with Jordan Burns, he looks really good blitzing too. I think that our linebackers from a blitzing standpoint could take several steps forward still. But I think that it'll be good enough because our offense for sure could be, I think, the best in this whole conference. I think that right now, honestly speaking, it might be the best in the whole conference. It's us and it's Ole Miss. To me, that's the two best offenses. And, the offense is going to take several steps forward once the running game starts to get better, too. So, yeah, I mean, I think that we have all the tools necessary for us to win a national championship. I do. Just me personally. Like I said, we got to clean some things up, but once we get to that time, if we can win the games that we're supposed to win, I think that we will make it to the playoffs, and I think that we'll be peaking at the perfect time where nobody wants to play us. All right, so this next one, saying that the pass rush is already the best. Yeah, it is for sure. And Ruck is saying, Bull knows stuff. Thank you for that. Yeah, hey, man, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. And so Steve saying that I hope that Joey gets the mid-game slump. Gets past it. Yeah, man, I'm not sure why that's happening, but it does. It's happened, I think, in every single game, like in the second quarter, almost like that middle eight. It's like he kind of misses on some stuff. This has to kind of calm down. It could be something that the defense is doing, but this is the time right now, right, where we have this bye and we have analysts and all that who can figure out, hey, what's causing this? Let's sit down. Let's figure it out. Let's just get better. Let's get healthy or healthier. And I do think that coming out of this bye, Tennessee is going to be in a really, really good spot. So this one's saying that Carter had a monster game. So if you're just looking at the stats, yeah, he had a whole bunch of tackles. There's some things that he definitely could have done better. And I already said I'm not going to be overly critical of him just because he has that turf toe, so he's not able to move around as much. Missing tackles is my biggest thing. Like it was on some of those plays that we talked about of 10+ yards running the football for Mississippi State where we missed back-to-back tackles from our linebackers. Just can't have that. And Arion Carter, he was one of those guys. It shouldn't be that damn hard to tackle some freaking body, bro. Like, we don't need you to kill him. Just go chest to chest, face to face with him and hold him up at that spot. Go boom, thump him up, thud him up, roll your hips forward, drive your feet, and keep him at that spot. It's too much diving at ankles and rolling off. Like, dog, we got to do better. We got to find a way to be able to beat blocks with speed, with strength, with different moves and all that. Like, we can do better. I kind of feel like AC got gas. It was a couple of times he's blitzing, looked kind of lazy to me. But like I said, if he's dealing with the turf toe, he can probably only do so much. But we need to get these other linebackers up to speed so that he doesn't have to play as much moving forward. Maybe he can start to heal up some. All right. So this one here from David Sanders saying that Kitselman needs to catch better. Yeah, I think that he made some good catches. I was hard on him. Some of the passes could have been better too. But yeah, I mean, I don't give a damn if you're getting held or nothing, bro. Bat the freaking football down. Like, you are, however old you are, 20-some years old, you're going up against guys that are mostly younger than you. If you can't grown man these dudes, I mean, come on, bro. Just because part of it is that he's not getting very much separation. He's not the fastest player. We got tight ends that will get a lot more separation, and it's a much easier pass. Like, you can't get held if they can't touch you. So that's part of it too. He's got to work on his routes. He's got to get some savviness. Think about Jason Witten more towards the end of his run, right? I mean, I love him. Very slow. But he was savvy enough to find a way to get some openings. So I don't know if Jason Witten would come back and maybe toss to the tight end something. That'd be great. But teach him some of that savviness. Like, with a veteran player, they should have more of that. That's just what I'm talking about. I don't even care how you do it. Just do it. Just get it done. Don't tell me nothing about nothing. Just bring me the freaking, bring me the dubs. Bring me the wins individually and as a team. All right, so next one. Turntine is already getting burned. Shaking my head. Yeah, so there. On some of those plays, right, he wasn't getting burned. That's part of it's not so much of like a one-on-one. So like one-on-one, you can get burnt. But if it's more of a zone, it could be, hey, you missed something. You didn't pick this up quick enough. You didn't get to your spot quick enough. I wouldn't call that getting burned. I think that Turntine had a good game last weekend versus Mississippi State. I do. He tackled well. He had to play inside of the box. That's something else that we'll talk about. Some our star players, our safeties, that ask to play inside of the box. Cornerbacks sometimes too, especially when we're running a whole bunch of men. They ask to play almost like linebackers. A lot of teams aren't really doing that. So there's a lot on their plate from coverage, from just everything. So I think that he played well. He made some good tackles. He stuck his neck in there versus number 24, who outweighs Turntime by like 30 plus pounds. Went in there, stuck his freaking neck in there, made a stop. Our linebackers weren't really doing that as much on some of those plays. So I'm going to give credit where it's due. I think the Turntime really stepped up for us last weekend. All right, so this one saying our kicker is no good for pressure situations. That's kind of how I feel too. He's going to have to get that figured out. All right, why not Morris on punt returns? So Morris, I think he was out last weekend, so he couldn't play. But he's a guy too. I mean, it's tough sometimes putting a freshman back there. I don't know. Obviously, the coaches, they see him in practice. They know who's doing a good job of catching the punch. I want Boo back there because Boo's done it for like a couple of years now. It's a very tough job. I want him back there. You know, we're going to ride or die with what he does. That's just me personally. All right, so this one, yep, so Morris was injured. Somebody already got to that one. All right, so what's going on, bro? My positive question. Brazil's absolutely a yeah, I think that he can win it. I know that he would probably like to win it, but I'm sure that he would probably tell you he would much rather the team can win out and that he can be a first round draft pick just because well, we had we had the wide receiver, I can't think of his name. That was just crazy. But we had the wide receiver from 2022 who won that same thing. I think went second or third round. You would much rather go first round. And I think that he's first round lock for sure. It might be some other wide receivers that could win that. But he is good enough for sure. All right, so I don't think that Obi should overlook team chemistry as it relates to who is playing and who is not. They play for each other more than the university, in my opinion. Yeah, so see, this is one of the things, and I understand where you're coming from with it, but where it turns into an issue is that, honestly speaking, like, once you're out there in the heat of the moment, nobody's thinking about that. Like, and if you are thinking about that, then whoever is thinking about that, you don't need to be playing because your mind is in the wrong spot. If you're not out there trying to win, then you already, like, we're already losing. Really, I don't think that the players too much care about that when they're trying to win a freaking ball game. I really don't. I think that they just want to win. So put the best players out there who can help us win. That's the coach's job. The player's job is just to play. Like, you shouldn't care about anything except for you're at Tennessee. We're playing a freaking ball game. You should be trying to freaking win. Do your job. Stop worrying about other folk. That's the way that I look at it. And I just think that that's not the best mindset. Like, if you look at teams like, and I hate to even say it, but like Alabama, like with Saban's run, he played a lot of young guys, people who had off the field issues that wasn't a huge deal, whatever. But, he was able to build up enough depth that it didn't really matter. Like, if you can play somebody, I mean, the best coaches will always play the players that give them the best chance to win. The off the field stuff, I mean, find the guy. You know what I'm saying? Find him, but if he gives us the best chance to win, that's who needs to play. All right, so this next one. That we beat an undefeated SEC team at their house and we didn't move up. Yeah, that's just how things go. All right, so Teen Jr., what's going on, bro? Saying that I want last season's D every year. Yeah, for sure. That these missed angles and tackles hurt. No question. To get your arms through and tackle, not just hit hard. And yeah, it's just basic fundamental stuff, which I think that this entire week, the defense should be working on tackling. We don't need to go live with it. We can just work on pure fundamentals. There's a lot of different ways that you can do it safely. Let's just work on it. Just keep on emphasizing. I can tell. And look, there are guys who missed tackles. They made really good tackles too. It's just sometimes we're playing up against really good athletes and they're going to make you miss. That is going to happen some, but I do feel like we had guys like dead to rights. You got to close there, bro. And to your point, we have to close. Just freaking solid tackle. All right, so this one from Teen Junior also saying, give up a touch of pass with Kitts for his blocking, but hopefully he'll get some techniques. Yeah, so I think that Miles Kitson is blocking really, really well. He's blocking defensive ends very well. He's doing a good job with the blocking. He misses some stuff, but I mean, nobody's going to be perfect. But yeah, I mean, he definitely needs to catch the freaking football. Like, he's going to have to do a little bit better there for sure. All right, so bad ball placement on the missed field goal, but he still can't correct. Some that ball was more straight up, not slight angle back. Yeah, so I mean, I listen. I'm not a kicker. I don't know, and you would know probably more about it than I do. I don't. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know exactly what went wrong with it. I'm just gonna tell you that me personally, it doesn't even matter. Like he needs to make the kicks. That's what he's here for. He needs to figure that out, and he's gonna have to do a much better job of being consistent with making kicks. It's just to me, it's just inexcusable, especially in like critical moments. All right, so this one's saying that the starting linebacker should be 13-7. Boo needs to play more. Maybe move him to safety. You know what? It's funny because actually Edwin Spillman he got more reps. I think he had 48 snaps to Jeremiah Tielander's 40 last week. So maybe the staff has seen some of that too. And, you know, I think that just it's so tough because it's like everyone does good things, but then there's something that everyone also kind of struggles with too. Like for Edwin Spillman, I think that he could do a little bit better job with his coverage as far as don't cover grass, right? He's not doing a horrible job, but he does need to be a little bit more like cognizant of, hey, where are the actual players at, and am I just covering nothing, right? I think that he could do it, take a step forward there. But yeah, he's playing well. Like I said, with the other backers, they all did some good things too. I think that we have a much more talented, much deeper linebacker room than we've probably ever had. So that's positive. All right, and so Steve Sullivan is saying that Lewis getting burned on pass protection. Yeah, I got him a ticket to the bench. That's something else. I don't know what the hell. Like, it's funny because whenever you're pass blocking as a running back, it's like different situations. So it's different fundamentals for different situations. It's almost like if you've ever like wrestled or fought or anything, it's like you have this whole bag of moves, but you have to know when to use them. So on that one, he's sitting back waiting when he should have gone up to go get that guy. You know, sometimes you got to sit back, wait, take their legs out. Sometimes you got to go up high, you know, so on and so forth. But he sat back, he waited, he was flat footed. And if it's a guy with that sort of speed, they're going to beat you every single time. So that's a learning lesson for him. He's got to get better. I think all of our running backs could be a little bit better with their pass pro. Everyone can get better at everything, but that didn't look great from Peyton Lewis. We definitely need him to take several steps forward. All right, so let me get to this one. All right, so this one's from Ben. All right, so talking about Boo Carter, he should be back there on the punts. Something will break. Yeah, and I mean that's another thing. He's really dangerous back there. That's just me. I'm not saying that's like the end all be all, but I don't understand it. You know, if he's done it for such a long time, just put him back there. All right, so this one from Cal saying that I think that putting someone else back there increases the chances of a punt return. I noticed they haven't been giving him a chance. Yeah, and so you know what? I think that's a really, really good point, Cal. You know, like one of my things though is that can be a weapon too, and it's something that Dion would always talk about. Like, hey, teams didn't want to punt to him, so what ends up happening is sometimes you get some just bad punts, and that also works out well. If it's a short punt, it puts the offense in a closer spot to being able to make the field goal, which I would never. Let's try to score 6. That is also beneficial just because it's something that they have to worry about. But I definitely see what you're saying. Maybe we wanted to try to see if we can make something happen on our punts. But I would, if it's me, it would be Boo Carter for the rest of the season, just unless he comes out and does just a bunch of just terrible, terrible things from an on the field standpoint. All right, so T-Mac, yes, so Hyatt. I don't know how I drew a blank on that, but yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So that's, and you know what, I mean, sometimes it's. Sometimes with going to the NFL, you really got to go to a good situation. I think he's a good player. But yeah, I mean, these guys would much rather take the dubs. And they would much rather take the earlier draft picks than any of these other like accolades and stuff. Now, the Heisman might be a little bit different. And you would probably still rather take, a national championship in the first round, maybe first round draft pick over the Heisman if that's the choice. Not saying that Chris Brazzell can't do both, right? Like he could get all these accolades and all that and still win the national championship and still go first round. Okay. So next one. This one is saying that take the chains off of Boo and let him do what he does best. Yeah, I think that we got to get over that type of stuff. This one is saying that we miss Kobe Thomas. So Kobe Thomas, the one thing about him is he's not great out in coverage. I think that our guys now are probably better in coverage. He's a good tackler and all of that. But yeah, I think that we missed the depth that we had. But really, I think that our safeties played pretty well. Now, the biggest thing was missed tackles. They did bust on some coverages, and we just showed y'all 2 of them. I think 2, maybe 3 of them. But well, you know, really wasn't super horrible. I mean, we can do a better job of tackling. We can do a better job of not busting on coverages. They can take those steps forward. I think that, you know, they're going to end up being pretty good by the time this, really good probably by the time the season ends. So this one from Teen Junior, trying to put it positively. You catch the damn ball, bro. Yeah, for sure. You already know. All right, so this one saying that we need that we need whoever is teaching the guys to tackle at Florida State and the person coaching the wide receivers to catch the ball at Syracuse. Yeah. I think that's an excellent point for sure. It's just sometimes, man. I don't know. I mean, obviously there's going to be some differences in the way that teams practice for sure. That might help the players be better at doing these types. But I mean, all that's like fundamental stuff. It's like focus stuff. It's almost effort stuff. The players got to do it. I mean, like you're not SEC level college players, and you know you can't tackle, you can't catch. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like they at some point the players they got a ball. They just got to start playing. All right, so this one's from Teen Junior saying that he hasn't cared who's out there first snap when we rotate the backers, et cetera, so much. Get them in during the times that they can succeed the most for sure, and keep the room fresh as possible. Yes, yeah, I mean for sure. I think that that's one of the biggest things is that we've got some different body types at linebacker. That you know the guys are going to be better suited in different situations. Let's just play them in those situations. You know what I mean? And it's tough just because as a defensive coordinator, you got to worry about so many different things. But you also just have to just simplify it and say, what are we trying to take away here? What players can run whatever coverage or blitz package that we think is going to put us in the best situation on this play? Put those players out there, and let's not think about anything else. The politics, none of that stuff needs to matter. It's got to be about winning first and foremost, and then at the end of the damn day. All right? So this one, Dolphins line is very good with David Sanders, will be elite. I agree for sure. He looks very, very good. Every time that I've watched him play, going back to the orange and white game, he's looked very, very, very good. I think that he's even better now. Okay, so I think that the offensive line is in great shape right now. So Teen Jr., so he's saying that he has love for Bolton, but some of those reps were scary. Yeah, I most definitely feel you on that too. All right, so Boo at safety gets our best DBs on the field at the same time. This is something that I've talked about too. I could see Boo playing at safety. You know what's something else that I'll talk about? With the cover two, like I said, we can play man, but it does give the cornerbacks the help over the top. So I think that that's also very, very positive. But I don't know if the staff would ever do something like that where we move Buddha. I would like to see us cross-training guys there because if we ever go to like a three safety look, I would love it if Boo could be one of those three safeties. Or, you know, if it's cover two, Boo could be the guy playing at star that takes the post. If we know, hey, they like to run the post from the guy that Boo's going to be covered. It's just, there's so many different ways to get things done. But yeah, I feel you on that. I think that Boo Carter and J-Mac, who's played very well too. I think that if we could find a way to have them both out there on the field at the same time, that could be a really, really good look for us. All right, so this one is saying that is there a narrative that I'm missing when it was said that State would target Redmond in their passing game? I don't think that they went after him as much as expected, or Ty shut down better. So I think that it's a combination of several things. Yeah, so we know that teams will probably try to go at the young guys, right? Especially if we're playing more man-to-man coverage. The thing about it is Tennessee barely played man in that game. If we would have had the same game plan that we ran versus Mississippi State versus Georgia, we would have won that game by several scores. And that's not taking a shot at anybody because I think that the coverage was good, but it keeps the quarterback from throwing it to those spots if you have a safety helping over the freaking top, which I don't understand why we didn't do more of that. But I'm happy that now we know, hey, this actually looks pretty damn good. We can mix it up. We could show a lot of different pre-snap movement and throw off what they're looking at and take away what we want to take away because we have the talent to be able to do that. But I think that that's a really good point, and that's part of the reason because Colton Hood, he was more the one that we let get isolated, which is the way the thing should have been just because he's the older player, right? So, yeah, it's just like little things like that Coach Banks, obviously, he's learned from. So you got to give credit where it's due. I mean, people will mess up sometimes, but can you fix it? Will you fix it? That's really all that matters moving forward. All right, so this one is saying that they want to see Boo on some end of rounds or some quick. I would love to see him on offense. I mean, obviously the offense has looked good, but I mean, why not throw him out there? Like, why not add some different elements to it, especially if we're going empty? That could help out with Tennessee's running game. Use him as a decoy. You know, take the safety out of the box, and then you could have a wide receiver that could go block a linebacker. So now the numbers really make great sense. Why not do it? Why not try it? I don't care what's happened before. He's on the team. We got to use him however is best suited. It's not fair to the rest of the team to punish somebody and punish the whole damn team. We got to put the best players out there so that we can just win. Just win, baby. That's it. That's it. All right. So, how do I view the Arkansas job? Well, I think that Arkansas, obviously, you know, it's I mean, they have resources. You know, like they have money. They got the Walmart money. I think that they're more right now. Maybe they're almost more of a basketball school right now. But I think that it's a good job. But I think that Bobby P is going to keep that job unless he just has a really bad end of the year, which I can see it happening. I don't like some of the stuff that he's doing. I like it for Tennessee, but I mean, I don't think that he's off to a very good start, you know, but that's what he's wanted. He's wanted that job for a long, long time. He's wanted to get it back. But we know how good Arkansas was whenever he was the head coach previously. So I think that it's a good job. And I think that if Bobby P isn't able to keep the job, then there will be some other coaches. Of course, any job in the SEC, most jobs in the SEC, really, really good jobs. All right. So I think that that's one of them for sure. All right, let's go on. So Brazo getting drafted potentially first 2 rounds will be huge for sure. Yeah, I think that they've been noticing it. I think that looking at the way that the wide receivers have just balled out, the way that the offense looks down the field, intermediate, they're running real route concepts. I think that everyone's going to want to come play here, especially with really good quarterbacks. The offensive line's looking good. The offense is going to be fine. I think that Tennessee's on the way to like a top 5 class moving forward. I really, really do. I think that we're going to be always like we're going to get back to where we're supposed to be, where our classes are always top 5. You know, so yeah, I mean, we've got some beautiful things coming, but I think that that's an excellent point. So T and Junior saying that only jersey I've ever bought is Hyatt. Yep. Okay, all right, that's dope. Yeah, so I don't know how sometimes you just like draw a blank, but yeah, Hyatt obviously he's one of the best receivers in Tennessee history. All right, so this one, okay, so coupled with our talent could be a scary combination. Yeah. I think that we're in a really, really good spot moving forward for like the rest of this year. All right, so this one's saying that they drive or that drive in the fourth quarter to tie the game was clutch for sure. Yeah, and I think that we also learned from the overtime game versus Georgia. That's why, excuse me, sometimes, you know, those losses, getting them out the way early on with the team that we know is talented, that we know we're playing young players, that we know that we're only going to get better, getting them out there in those types of situations, it is just like you almost can't even quantify how valuable that is moving forward for the rest of the year once we get into more of these types of situations. So yeah, I think that was huge for us. All right, we're gonna try to get to a few more. I know it looks like we've got several in here. All right, so I'm gonna cut it off with this last one right here from OBRDY. So that's gonna be the last one that I read off, and then we'll get to the rest of these, and then we're gonna go on ahead and wrap this thing up. So this one, just let Boo start. I think that at Star, I mean, I was saying that earlier, but man, J-Mac is looking really good playing at Star, like, and he's straining too. Like, you want to talk about fighting and training to get off blocks? That's the type of stuff that I'd be looking for. Are they really trying to get off the blocks? Because, see, getting off of a block, that's effort. That's effort. If you don't at least get a holding call, you ain't trying hard enough to get off the block. But J-Mac's doing that. Love what I saw from Boo. We're in a good spot. I mean, we got some guys for sure. So this one saying that not having Boo, yeah, I didn't understand it. GBO, so you already know. Go Vols. Who cares about the pigs? Well, shoot, we got them coming up. We're about to start diving into them, too. I think that we might have a couple things that we look at. We'll probably have a video that maybe comes out tomorrow talking about how their defense might change up some. You can't change the whole deal. But with the new DC, based off who that is, I mean, we have some different expectations. So this one, saying that they're late to the party, had to start at the top. Okay, all right, for sure. Hey, man, and listen, thank you for joining us. I think that you've joined maybe every live stream that we've done for a long time. Shouts out to everybody else. Y'all, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. All right, so this one, Just Machine and Next Work for us. So, guys, yeah, they need to be doing that. There's no question. All right, so this one from Benjamin saying that also, how do you feel about Tristan Keys? Is that a guy who steps in off the rip next season, or will he need a year behind Mike, Travis, Rod, etc.? I think that they're going to rotate them. I think that we'll be able to rotate wide receivers a lot more. You know, we have a lot of depth, but I think that he's very talented, but like you said, I mean, you just named off some other very talented players. It's going to be tough. And obviously, you know, you still have Braylon Staley, who's a freaking dog. But yeah, I just think that we had to find a way to get to just like rotate and get a lot of people out there. So I think that that's something that the staff needs to probably start trying to work on. If we have guys that we trust to throw out there, we got to throw them out there as often as we possibly can. So yeah, but I mean, obviously, just like from a talent standpoint, I think that he is good enough that he could probably come in and be a starter. But like I said, is he more talented than the other players at this point? And then, you know, more so next year. I don't know. Okay, but that's a good problem for us to have. There's a lot of good wide receivers coming in the 2026 class. All right, so this is going to be the last one, y'all. All right, so saying that Brazel catch on third down when he bent his body backwards. Man, Brazel is just playing great. You know, I think that we're doing some great things. Of course, as I've said several times, we have to keep on cleaning things up, but very, very happy with where this team is at. And thank y'all so much, man, for joining us. Sorry that we couldn't get to every single one of the chats. But if y'all could just catch us earlier next time, then we'll make sure that we can, make sure that we can read y'all's chats off. But thank y'all so much, and we will be coming back on Patreon and for the YouTube members later on today, breaking down some film. We hope that y'all can join us there. You can join us on Patreon. That's probably going to be like the most, that's like the cheapest place for you to join us and see this type of stuff. $1, patreon.com/Bluechip Breakdown. P and I want to be able to go full time. We really need for more people to kind of like join us with the memberships and things like that. So thank y'all. And we will be talking to y'all here in just a minute.